lap of the show, TMI, beautiful Monday morning. We have in the studio the member representing Eastern Northeast, Eastern Southeast Federal Constituency in the House of Representatives. I'd like to thank very especially Deacon Barrister Sergius Osiaso Chilo for joining us on the show this morning. Deacon, many thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Well, since this present administration came on board, there's been this legislature executive friction. Perhaps the one that perhaps has been on the front burner is the talk about the instability in the legislature. And every now and then, you sort of hear people pointing, accusing fingers at the executive. What do you make of this as a challenge in the good governance of the people? Some say, well, the legislature is made up of people that are independent-minded. They are not a rubber stamp of the executive, even though it's dominated majorly by the ruling party, as it were. That seems to be why there is this constant friction. I want you to build on that.
Well, thank you. I guess, like people will always say, in Nigeria, we are used to the military rule. Where you say, well, for over going to 20 years now, we've had democracy. I think it's also this African thing of having the father basically dictate what happens in the house. So you have the executive, they have basically everything. Yeah, the National Assembly will appropriate the budget, rather will approve the budget, they will assent it, and then they actually execute the budget. So for everything you need practically, you go back to the executive. But if you look at this section 88 and 89 of the Constitution, empowers us to oversight the MDAs, the ministries, departments, and agencies. So that's a lot of power. And the friction usually will come from in our trying to carry out our constitutional responsibilities. You see the friction more in the National Assembly versus the executive, because we are largely independent. Even if I was a member, even back in the days of PDP, you've always had these battles. Because I think because they also get their money is on first line charge, they are independent. Or rather, we are independent. Okay. We are not relying on the executive to approve everything. So if we do that in the House of Assembly, which came in the last amendment, constitutional amendment, you will begin to see that happen in the states. So I think Nigerians should appreciate that. It means that they have voted for us, they voted for me in my constituency to be a voice for them in Abuja. And that is what we are doing. We should be a rubber stamp to the executive, which is what they prefer. Like I said, in typical African society where the father says, that is it, everybody complies. But today, they say it's not right. My kids challenge me. Dad, I say, look, give me this. Dad say, please. In my days, you don't say that to your dad. You'll be grounded.
You'll be grounded, you'll be spanked.
Yeah, but see now, the child is telling me the right, I say, okay, please. And when you say, give me that thing, I have to say, thank you. And if I don't say, I will be reminded. Dad, I say, okay, thank you. But you send them to school to learn to behave like that. So the constituencies, our constituencies have voted for us to represent them. And that's exactly what we are doing.
Does that mean, in your assessment, that the legislature has lived up to the expectations of the average Nigerian?
We are getting there. I cannot say categorically that we are there, but we are getting there.
Getting there in terms of what are your indices?
We are largely independent today. People can speak out. In the days, you know, the executive or the leadership of the party wants a particular individual to be Speaker of the House, Senate President, and that's it. And when that happens, it's whatever the president wants really, that will happen. Although there might be battles here and there, yeah. And then they will change them out. But if you look at the 7th Assembly, now the 8th Assembly, is the representatives that chose their speaker. So in that way, he's not answerable to a large extent to the party and the president. So we are becoming independent. And these were the things I had against this present president. That we had a democracy in place that you truncated, and today you want to be a democratically elected president, and you got it, and you want to take us back to 30 years ago or 40 years ago? Because imagine if we were running in the days of Shagari till now, would have been steaming right now. Some of the things we are learning now would have perfected it. This country would have been somewhere else now. But in any case, it's not too late. We are getting there, and we will get there by the grace of God.
Let's talk a bit more of the build-up to the 2019 election. Some say most of the issues that are dominating national discourse right now are things that are going to shape 2019 election. What in your opinion, are those key issues that will shape 2019 election?
Well, maybe the economy, the major political party merging and all that will happen. I can categorically tell you here by August, we will know clearly who the next president of Nigeria will be by August this year.
Even when the election has not taken place? What gave you that confidence and assurance?
Yeah, the parties are coming together. There may be a slight change in the name of my political party now, PDP. And I can tell you on record that there are more than 27 governors that are ready to line up behind PDP today. They might be smiling to the president and telling him, go out and run, but they are not with him. The governors are largely behind even the election sequence. Now we are trying to change that from the National Assembly doing their own first, the governors and House of Assembly doing their own second, and then the president last. They are even trying to make it the governorship election first, the National Assembly second, the president last. And yet they are the ones telling him go out and run. They are not with him. And by the time we merge with other parties, begin to see movement. Like what happened in the last elections. Some few months to the general elections, you will see people leaving the APC to PDP or to whichever party then.
So some have said that the plan to reorder election timetable is targeting Mr. President by the National Assembly.
Well, I just told you now it's not so much of the National Assembly. But in any case, we are told that the Buhari is a movement and not beyond APC. So if that's the case, why are they scared? They are scared. And they are throwing everything at the National Assembly. Whatever they did last week is just a dress rehearsal. I suspect they are going to remove the Senate president. They will damn more consequences. We have just showed them how to do it. They might force their way. Some of the members take them, maybe the loyalists of Saraki's loyalists will take the maize away. They will bring in another one. With brute force, they will put another president as the Senate president. I think it's all big. This is because they are scared. They are frightened by what's going to happen. But in any case, it's all good. Like I said, if we had not truncated the democracy then in the era of Shagari, by now none of this would be happening. It was unfortunate that we are coming back. All this went with Obasanjo. You know, from Yaradua down to Jonathan, these things had gone. But unfortunately, we're coming back to it.
Yeah, so some say your party didn't lay a solid foundation for democracy to thrive. Perhaps all of these things would have been faster in terms of development.
We did.
Yes, that's the feeling.
We did.
Because you are accusing the years of military rule as largely being responsible.
Well, we still have military rule today to a large extent. That's the truth. The military handed over to Obasanjo, who was a military general, and he handed over to the younger brother of a military general, who largely was not known except his elder brother. I tried to pacify the PDPDM, his brother's camp, so they brought him. The man that was really known was Shehu Yaradua, not Musa Yaradua. Then, where did he go to? Unfortunately, he passed on. He handed over to a South person to pacify the militants. Then from there, an army general took over again. And today, if the army generals had not supported Buhari, he would not have been there today. And to get an endorsement today, be it party convention or anything, you have to go to Ota, you have to go to Mina. Now they are urging Buhari now to go to Daura, go back to Daura in 2019. So it's going to be Ota, Daura, and then Mina. So who is deceiving who? The generals are still in charge, and that's an unfortunate thing. So today we are telling the young people, get up and take your position in this whole thing. But the same young people are going back to this same old men that have no ideas anymore.
Talking about young people, the president made a comment in UK, which of course sparked wild reactions from young people, I mean, across the board. That statement, wasn't that a statement of fact about the youths in Nigeria, that many of them are lazy, as it were?
Well, I think the president should just have said Nigerians. Maybe he tried to be president of Nigeria for so many years he couldn't. But now he's elected, I'm sure everybody wants free medical care, free housing, and everything free. He should have said that. But that is why he is voted in as a president. Because if we put a system in place, when you can easily get good health care, good education, and good housing, you might not need them for free. Because you also create jobs. What I expected him to tell the Western world is to say, help us to stand, help us to be independent, fully independent. The companies, the oil companies are coming here, the Shell and all, that are coming here to do business. They should support our local content laws so that in that way we can engage our people and then help ourselves to grow. That's what he should be telling them. Because the young people he's talking about, in fairness to him, he didn't say they were lazy, but gives the impression that it's just welfare. They want everything for free. But if you had jobs for these young people, I'm sure they would do it. Then if the whole world knows that this is a home, Nigeria is a home of entertainment, Nollywood, music, and all, then how can you wake up and still say this same group of people, without government assistance, have been able to break through to the Western world, that they are lazy? Well, again, if you look at it, I think it's also part of poor understanding or old age. The first question that sparked this issue of 95% and 8% of those that voted for him, it was a different question that was asked entirely. He didn't understand it, and he gave that. Then today, same thing happened. What happened last week? Was this a different question that was asked entirely? Because he didn't understand it or didn't hear them well, he gave a different answer again. But again, like the Bible says, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaketh. So that's what he had in him that he gave out. So, but I would urge him to his back. Maybe it was a slip of tongue. But address it. If you put the basic things in place today and the young men are employed, I'm sure they will forget about it. But in any case, I think it's come to the end of the road anyway.
So some time ago, you advocated the need for us to have subsidy, fuel subsidy completely removed.
Yes.
In the build up to 2015 election, the present administration talked about removing subsidy. As a major player in the oil and gas industry, I want to find, does subsidy still exist? If it does, what does that portend for the present administration in terms of their relationship with the people based on the promises made?
I advocated for removal of fuel subsidies so many years ago before I got into the House. And when I go into the House, I still stood by that, and I'm standing by that today. But I guess because the government really most times take the people for a ride. When Desiani brought price of the pump price to about 90, is it about 97 or 87,000 naira per liter? They would have deregulated then. Even when this government came on board, they still would have been able to do that, because now it's so easy to tell you the price of crude oil in Nigeria when it was $100 and something per barrel. We didn't do anything with the money, we didn't make savings and all. But I think we're also intellectually lazy. Be careful with the use of that word now. Because if you go and Google right now, from 2011, when Jonathan came, or 2012, just go and Google it. How much was the price of petrol? It wasn't $100 plus from then to 2014. If you go back to 2019, they keep referring to the price of crude oil when PDP was in government. When Obasanjo came, it was under $10 per barrel. And our foreign reserve was under 10 billion. But we didn't have the issues we have today with dollar exchange rate, and no, we didn't. So if I go back to the point about subsidy, if you take out subsidy today, the market will adjust itself. The major players will come in. It will become an economic thing. The government should just do the regulatory body should do their work. When you do that, it will turn around the economy naturally. People will build refineries. People will take ownership of oil wells, less of government, and it will become a huge business. Okay. You check in the Western world, in the UK, in Europe, in America. Government don't own refineries. Refineries are owned by private individuals. How come they don't have scarcity? It's the market forces that dictates. If the price of crude oil is $2 per barrel, you might be buying fuel for maybe less than 5 naira per liter. If it goes up, you also know naturally it's going to affect, the price of crude oil will affect the refined product. And that happens naturally. And everybody will understand.
Our time is up. One last word. What are expectations for 2019?
I expect, by the grace of God, we're going to have free and fair elections. And I think that's what the president today owes this country. If he said with his own mouth that he was denied that seat 3 times, and God is be faithful to him, that INEC, the courts all connived to deny him that seat, that he won 3 different times, but he was denied that position. If God gave it to him, I think that's the first thing he should promise himself, Nigerians, and the whole world. If anything I will do, I will give this country free, fair, and credible elections. And that's what I expect him to do.
All right, thank you very much, Vice Secretary Sogun, member representing Esan Northeast, Esan Southeast Federal Constituency, for the useful thoughts that you shared with us, even on such a very short note. Hope next time we invite you, you oblige us. It's the TMI Monday. Well, that's where we draw the curtains on the program today. Big thanks to all our guests on the show, John Yakubu, Isaac Rabo, and of course, Roy Orivabo much earlier. And of course, the head entertainment desk, ITV Radio, Cindy Shoka, was here with me earlier to talk about Big Brother Nigeria, grand finale, which happened yesterday. The young pilot, Miracle, now over 50 million naira richer. Well, I'm looking forward to also lining up to look for that show sometime to come here. You just have to explore every opportunity. But that's our show today. Big thanks to Lucky, big thanks to Bernard, big thanks to our good friend here, Obedi behind the camera. Thank you for your big support. My name is Sonny Duke Okoso. Thank you for staying with us. Do have a great week ahead. Bye for now.